Hello there, Seraphim17 once again, introducing you to my Dark Souls video walkthrough. We're about to kill the Taurus demon, and he's a pretty big cream puff, but before you go onto the bridge, you need to kill these two guys, because if you don't, they're going to give you a world of trouble. So this boss is pretty synonymous for being, I wouldn't say difficult, but as far as a first encounter comes with a real actual boss, this is kind of heavily stacked against you, because not only can he knock you off, he can kill you in about 2 hits, but it's not the best arena to fight. So the best thing to do is put the gold pine resin on whatever weapon you're using, run back over once you trigger him, climb up to the top of this tower, two-hand your weapon, and the fall damage you do when you land on him will probably take about half his life. And then from there, with a two-handed weapon, you should be able to mash him down and kill him. But just be careful, because whenever he goes to swing, you need to try and time your roll. Or tank it with your face like I just did, because this camera is kind of trashy. But there's the roll. He goes for another attack. He misses because I'm between his legs. And it just does too much damage, the gold pine resin, for him ever to be all that challenging. But there's the "you defeated," or the "victory achieved" as they changed it, and now we're going to be making progress into the Undead Parish. So you'll notice there's been a transition there, and the reason is, instead of going forward, I went back to go and check on something, but it wasn't fruitful, so I trimmed it out, and that's the reason why those archers are back alive. So smash the boxes, pick up the soul, and we're going to be moving into an interesting section here where we get to talk to the Sunbro, who... this is the person who gives you the item that lets you co-op with your friends, if you choose to do so, or co-op with strangers. He's also somebody you can summon during a couple of boss fights that will definitely stack the odds in your favour. So he's well worth talking to. And once you do that, what you want to do up here is you want to tease out this entrance, and then immediately turn around and stand over in this corner, because you'll notice that there was petrol, or some kind of flammable liquid on that bridge, and it's a trap. It's a Phantom Menace trap, and the dragon comes and raises the bridge, and then he sits up on his perch and he enables you to run across this little area. So this dragon's pretty infamous at this point. Even people that haven't played the game, who even have remote knowledge of it, will know that he's a bit of a dickhead. Come down here, kick the ladder down before you drop, use the bonfire, now you have a shortcut. And the dragon's a dick because he's really powerful for how early on in the game he shows up. And killing him, you can either do it cheesily or you can do it dangerously. There's the two options, but the one salient piece of information that you definitely need to do is, if you're wanting to get the easiest path through this game, you need to cut his tail off. And there's a super safe way of doing it by shooting it with arrows from under the bridge, but it takes far too long. So I'm going to show you a technique here of how to cut it off really quickly. And I did not come up with this, I did not come up with a lot of the strategies I use, it's just there's such a wealth of information on this game that it's already been discovered. So if you stand here, he will take maybe about 30 seconds, or maybe less, but he'll eventually move and he'll drop just in front of you. As soon as you see him move, you need to run straight forward to try and get behind him. So there's his move, I move, there's his tail, it comes down, two-hand your weapon with the gold pine resin, and there is your Drake Sword. Immediately run into the sunlight altar and get out of the way of the direct line of the bridge, because he's going to breathe some fire, he's going to get really mad, and there he goes, stomping up a storm. So when he jumps up onto his perch as I wave at him, now you're effectively safe, and you have one of the most overpowered early game weapons in any game you can play. This is like the plasma cutter of Dark Souls, it's ridiculously good. This lever opens up a shortcut, and there's also a bonfire for your trouble. And now that we've come over here, the dragon will leave for a while, and it enables you to pick up the souls and the claymore, which is a very nice sword if you choose to use it. But yeah, the dragon is a douche, but he's also kind of cool, because you can use him to kill the people on the bridge, and then use the bonfire down the stairs, and then come back up, kill the people on the bridge with his fire, and you can effectively farm him. And early on, it's a pretty good farming spot, but in this guide, we're not going to be doing it, because I'm going to show you how to get 20,000 souls early on We're going to buy the Crest of our Taurus, and then we're going to go into the Dark Root Garden, and we're going to, we're going to kick some people in the balls and get some real large amount of souls. And it's so good. The farming spot in the forest is so game breaking, it's not even funny. Oh, by the way, I moved into that area just then, enough to see him kick his leg. When he kicks his leg, he's going to charge at you. Move back into that corner, keep your shield up. If he comes close, evade him, and then backstab him to kill him instantly. And then we're just going to be moving through this area. So up here is going to be a spear guy and 2 archers. And wherever there's archers, there's generally mild frustration, because they're very cheap, they're very accurate. And as you can see, that spear guy is really damaging when he gets you with his power thrusts. But the kick is his worst enemy, as I'm getting very close to death, and one of my rings actually activates, and why I'm not healing is a mystery. That just goes to show, when you play this game too much, you get very cocky, and I could have very easily died just then. Regardless of my defense buff, it's not enough to stop them from killing me. Well, I finally chugged my flask, and I noticed that there's another one of the soldiers coming around this way. He does the always fun charge. He goes down with 1 slash from the Drake Sword, because this weapon is ridiculous. And because I didn't go through this area fast enough to stop that guy closing the gate, we have to go on the underground area. But don't worry, we've got another trap waiting for us, but when you know it's here, it's very simple. There's a guy to your left and a guy to your right. I was trying to lure them out, but I only got 1. Oh no, I got both of them. That was okay. And usually 1 slash will go through both, but I had to do 2 just then. And just be careful in this area, because as easy as these dredgeling guys are, when a couple of them start hitting you, it's surprisingly how fast you can die. And especially with some of the detection in this game. There's moments where dudes don't even hit you and it still counts as a hit. I mean, look at that. Clipping on everything. I love the game, it's a beautiful game, but it's got some technical problems. So that is the mystery key. I believe that enables you to open the cell to Lautrec. I could be wrong, it's always good to have it though, because there's a few doors that are opened with keys that I've not really committed to memory. That right there is further proof that this sword is ridiculous. That's a large soul of the lost undead. And something I should probably state before anybody points it out, I very rarely use those compressed soul items. The only times I ever really rely on them is when I need to do something quickly at a blacksmith and I can't be asked to go and farm. So if you're wondering why I don't use them to buff my souls up and things, it's just I can get souls on this game. I'm confident enough in my ability, and this is the first real badass of the game. He's a Boulder Knight, and he uses a Boulder Side Sword, and a Rapier. He's also got a Boulder Shield and the full Boulder set, and he's pretty cool. He does a lot of damage. He actually goes into a fencing stance where he can counter-attack you and do a riposte, which early on in the game will kill you. And he's aggressive. He's got a very good guard break. He's a shifty guy, but the Drake Sword just makes really quick time of him, unfortunately. But just keep running down this corridor. I'm going to lead you directly to the next bonfire, which is near the first blacksmith of the game. Unless you count, is it Riggs of Vinheim, who's down in New Londo, which I don't really count because I don't use magic weapons enough to warrant ever visiting that guy. That was the running attack with the Drake Sword, really useful. And we're going to be going, I believe, because the video doesn't have too much left on it, so I'm going to be hitting the bonfire, and then we're going to be progressing onwards to try and get 15,000 extra souls. But don't worry, I do have some pretty quick methods of getting it, and I do get really lucky in this playthrough, which is going to shape the rest of it. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and you take care now.